I work for Foreship, so we are, could say, in one word, a traditional naval architect and marine engineering company, design company. We are currently 104 full-time employees, and we have a main office in Helsinki, Finland. And we have a few other offices as well in Finland. Then we have one office in Estonia and two offices in US, one in Fort Lauderdale and the other one in Seattle. And the one we have in US, both of them, is more to support the local cruise customers that is engaged in Miami and in Seattle. Furthermore, I would say that we are focusing on both new building and conversion design. And we want to be a partner for our customers from beginning when they start to build a new ship until they are scrapping it at the end of lifetime. So a lifetime partner for our customers. What we see today in regards to new technologies, we could distinguish it in the three different areas. We talk about the batteries. Batteries has been around already for some time, and earlier today we heard from Corvus Energy as an example that they have been on the market for 10 years now. So they are celebrating 10 years in the market. And so you could say that batteries as such is not a new invention, but more and more ship types are coming in, and what we see today is quite big focus or attention from the cruise industry as well. And they are looking for ways of reducing their CO2 emissions by using batteries. Then we have fuel cells, and some fuel cell pilot projects has been done, especially in Europe and also in Norway. And the idea, of course, with these pilot tests is to see if the technology is fit for the marine industry. And it looks promising from the technology perspective, but we have a big lack on the fueling side. Let's say all the fuel cells want to have hydrogen as primary fuel, and that is the biggest hurdle in the industry at the moment. Then the third element on new technologies, you could say that also alternative fuel types. And here we talk about biofuels and biodiesels, biogas, these type of things, which will help the industry to reduce the carbon dioxide footprint. On this topic, there is one simple answer, and that's no. I don't think that the ports are ready, and especially if you look on the cold ironing aspects of already being around for many years, and port authorities have difficulties to build the infrastructure for cruise ships to when they are berthing to connect up to shore power. We have good examples with container ships in west coast of US who are demanded to hook up and connect to shore power whenever they are in berth. But we don't see the same type of development in the rest of the world, that the infrastructure is really there and can support different type of voltage levels and frequencies. It has taken a long time to come to the level where we have what we have today, and it's not nearly enough when we start to talk about supporting battery charging, and in this context we talk about really different voltages. It can be AC voltage, can be DC voltage, and it's not really there. And my thought around this is that I think that the ship owners, the ship operators need to step in and take a bigger role in that particular infrastructure themselves. So I think that that's the only way to rapidly build up an infrastructure where the ships can benefit from shore power, both for charging and otherwise. From looking at incentives, I have recently looked into this area where you have, say, a traditional type of ship and the fuel consumption that you expect out of that ship, and then comparing that with alternative energy sources like batteries and then also fuel cells. And what is clear is that there is a potential market for the batteries to be larger in scale, and we say that nothing major needs to be done from legislation or financial incentives. But then when we come into the fuel cell aspects of the industry, where we potentially have zero carbon dioxide emissions, there we have a long way to go, because the fuel price, the infrastructure price is still so high, and we can see pilots going on in different regions, different areas, and they are mainly done with the aid of money from institutes like EU or regional country-wide incentives, and they are all good to help the industry to get better technology and with less emissions. But then for a long run, I don't think that financial support from government is helping the situation, and the only thing I think will help is the fact that to have higher prices for cargo transportation, and the end users are paying for this, as well as higher ticket prices, because that's really the price you have to pay to be more environmental friendly. There's also a simple answer for this: design for flexibility. So if you are building a ship today, I think you should be aware that new legislation is coming up on, again, carbon dioxide as an example, that IMO today has a recommendation and gone out publicly that we have the need of reducing carbon dioxide emissions with 50% until 2050. And based on that, when you design a ship today, so design it for flexibility, design it for future-proof technologies, and so you could have, for example, a ship having traditional main engines in areas where you are still allowed to freely operate, and then you have zero emission type of technologies like the batteries or fuel cells then in the special areas like in the Norwegian fjords, the heritage fjords, where you are not from 2026 allowed to have any emissions out of your ships. So design for flexibility is the key, I would say.